Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. I have a good dear friend of mine, comedian, author, fashion delight, really.
Thank you,
It's
Heather.
Jen Kirkman.
Oh my God, thanks for having me. I tried to look cute for you.
You do.
It's
you look very
way
cute.
hotter out than I thought it was, and I'm wearing pleather. No, it's actually leather. I don't know. I'll just say pleather.
It's pleather is like a better thing to say than people
For
feed
the
us not
animals and the
after you.
environment,
Yeah. And also it's like the best thing because you're like it's pleather, but it was also less expensive than leather, so
Exactly.
you're kind of winning. But speaking of PETA, I just saw something on Twitter, but then Kelly looked it up, and it's from 3 years ago.
Oh.
Did you ever see that video of where like an elephant went to a sanctuary and hadn't seen another elephant for 25 years? And then it saw this other, she's a girl elephant, and
Yeah.
she saw this other she recognized, actually her name was Jenny.
Oh.
She was a little elephant that like she fostered like 25 years ago because she came from Asia. She didn't know anybody, and she was like a little baby elephant. They never saw each other for 25 years, and they saw each other, and they were like hugging each other with their trunks, and just
It's like when you're a
hanging
female
out.
comic and you see another one on the road. You're like, oh my God, I never seen one of these.
I
I'm
know
not the
it was
only one.
truly sisterhood.
Oh, that's so cute. I haven't seen it.
Speaking of sisterhood,
Yeah.
and elephants and bathing, we are going to have Heather Fest this Saturday, and it is all girl pool party. I only have girls working the party because I didn't want people to not get in their bathing suit and lay out.
Right. Oh, okay, so it's for like, you don't want like some hot 20-something waiter.
No, I
Yeah.
have two hot bartenders that are female. I have female masseuses. I have a female DJ.
Love it.
I don't know if the people coming from Baja Fresh, they might be men. I don't know.
Well, you have to find out, or else this whole thing is.
Well, it doesn't matter. Who cares? They won't stay that long. I don't even know. Whatever.
I have a wrap that I can put on.
Yes, everybody needs to go in a bikini and then like a wrap. Like you don't have to be like in a pair of heels. But I'm very excited for it because I have a beautiful backyard, and you always have parties, and you always have it at like sunset or later, and everybody just comes and looks at the pool. And so many times I'm there in the afternoon, just laying out by myself, going, God, I wish I had some girlfriends here right now.
Oh, it's so smart.
To get tan and
Yeah.
just like have a pool party. Like my whole life when I was like laying out in my parents' backyard, which is next door, I used to like read 17 magazine and be like, this is a summer delight drink to make when you have a pool party. And I'd be like by myself and be like, one day I'm going to have a pool party and I'm going to have Sade playing. So I'm
Not live.
We have to
Just
remember
mean
to
on
tell
the
the
radio.
DJ, Sade.
Well, my friend had a pool growing up, and in Massachusetts, we could only use it 3 months out of the year.
It's so sad.
I know, but it would get ruined by the boys would come over. So we'd be laying out, and then we'd be having fun. Then we get all self-conscious, and then they'd come over and they'd jump in and do whatever they were doing. It just changed the whole vibe up. So it was like, I'm dying for this experience
I'm
too.
so excited for it.
And I used to belong to a pool club here in LA. It was like at a hotel, and I would go every summer.
Yes.
Even though the condo I live in has a pool, but I'm not going to go. That seems gross to me. And so I was laying out one day, and this guy started talking to me, and he was like, I'm
But
an
at
agent.
this pool club,
Yeah.
what's nice is like they have like you can get a waiter to come by. and
Yeah,
get a
there's
drink.
waiters coming
Okay.
by all day.
That is nice.
Most of the drinks are free unless you want to,
It's kind of like what would happen to Samantha in Sex and the City. Remember, she got into the Soho Club. the
Annabelle
rooftop club.
somethings. She got some other woman's card and pretended it was her.
Yeah. I am Annabelle.
And she was British. It turned out.
Oh, it was.
Yeah, she was like, I've been over here. It was really funny. Well, I was like that, and this guy started talking to me. He's like, I'm an agent. I represent this and that. And just kept talking and talking about how hard it is to meet people in LA. I was like, I knew he was hitting on me. When he went in the pool, I just changed my ring to go on my married finger, so it looks like I was married. And then he came out, he's like, oh, that ring was on the other finger before. Did you just put it on to, like, not talk to me? And I was like, I need a women's only pool.
Oh my God, I would have been so excited if that was me. I would have been all about the guy hitting on me at the pool.
No, he was disgusting. You don't just want a man
All
in
right.
general.
Well, when
Yeah.
I belonged to Sports Club LA, they did have a pool.
Yeah.
And I would go there on a Saturday and like work out by myself, and then I'd go and hang out by the pool. And I was hit on occasion.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And they were gross agents and stuff,
Oh,
but
really?
I still loved
Oh,
it.
I hate anyone talking
But
to
it
me.
never it never came to fruition of like going out. Sometimes they'd ask.
Yeah.
And those were the days where guys were like asking at your number, and then you'd wonder why they didn't call. And it took me till I was like 40 to realize, oh, they just wanted to see if you'd give it to them.
Oh, I didn't even know
They
that.
don't. So many times they didn't, and then you'd be like, "What was wrong with me?" It's like, no, they had no intention of calling you.
No, and they probably
just
got
wanted to
so many numbers.
They just
Yeah.
wanted to see if they could get it. They probably have a wife or, girlfriend or whatever. And I used to
that's
totally
smart.
take like personal offense, like bummed about it.
Oh, and I have a thing that I'm going to do at your party. I swear to God, I will do things and then they will come into fashion 2 years later. So
Okay.
it's not going to be a hit just yet.
So it's a fashion prediction. I do celebrity predictions.
Yeah.
You do fashion predictions. What is the hit?
Because 4 years ago on my Netflix special, I wore these heels that were socks. They were like sock shoes. And
Yes.
everyone was like, what was that? Well, now it's like the biggest thing.
Right.
I'm going all white to your party.
Great.
Like, I used to spray tan. I'm very pale. I don't know if anyone's just listening. You can see me online. I have a very Boston white coloring. And I'm just rocking it and just getting as white as possible so that it's like a look.
I love
So,
that. I'm going to be
we'll
the
see.
complete opposite. I've been doing Jergen self tanner every day.
Yeah,
I'm
if
gonna
I
be
don't
nice
keep
and
it
tan.
up, it's going to look... I mean, I could spray tan the day before, but I'm just
No.
afraid of the orange toes.
I think stay with the white and
Yeah.
chic. Do like a retro white thing.
I need to get a bathing suit that matches. I only have these like really skimpy bikinis, and I just don't think it's time for that.
Okay.
So maybe I'll get like one of those full-bodied ones.
I don't like it.
A two-piece, but more no.
No, I think a one piece is much more flattering than those high waisted 1940s pants.
Oh,
that
maybe
people
I'll
are
just get a
wearing.
one-piece, but I don't like a one-piece.
I'm telling you.
I think I'll just wear my. I'll wear my.
You know what I
skimpy
think
bikini.
is a more flattering look
Yeah.
than a high waisted 2-piece bikini? Is do a one piece high cut, low cut tit. And it's so much more flattering.
Yeah, that's a
and
nice
it's
look.
back and that look is in.
Yeah, that's
so
a nice
you can
look.
have the best of both worlds.
All right.
Speaking
Anyway.
of, so this is in celebration for my birthday. I hope that's very clear that I'm accepting gifts. I didn't know if you knew that.
Oh, this is what I was going to ask you. So on the Evite, it comes up this registry.
No, it's not, I'm not registered.
No, I know, but it's like a feature of Evite now where they go, do you want to bring a gift? And then
Oh.
it takes you to a generic registry for women. And the stuff on it was so hideous. It was like running sneakers and like some weird backpack. And I was like, Heather, A, registered for gifts, but B, these hideous things? And I was like, no. So I was already going to go out on my own and get one, but I was going to disobey your registry, which turns out isn't one.
Here's something for you. Ding-a-ling-ling. Tatum O'Neal, who's guest starring on Sex and the City. It's Carrie Bradshaw.
Oh, hi. What's up, Carrie?
I'm getting married to myself, and I just registered for a pair of shoes. And they're there. One pair on the registry. Manolo Blahniks. Thank you. And then she did it. She went to Manolo Blahniks, and she said, is Carrie Bradshaw registered for this? And she got a $400 pair of shoes because she wore the shoes to the party. She took them off and someone stole them.
Which I still never believed as a premise, but okay. I
Yes.
like the message of the episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
About being that way. Oh, speaking of which, wait, first of all, I do want to say one thing. So it is my birthday coming up
Yeah.
June 14th. It's Flag Day. It's Donald Trump's birthday, and it's Heather Rital's birthday.
Oh my God, what a combo.
So it's coming up, and anyway, I had a frustrating thing happen at my live Juicy Scoop, and it didn't. It was anyway. There was a lot of technical difficulties, but the show went off and it was great.
Yeah.
And I come out and I do characters, and I was putting on my wig, and I was so pissed. I was putting on my wig, and I'm like, Heather, how dare you put on the wig and feel bad about anything? Because I had just gotten a mammogram, and I had just gotten a letter that I was cancer free.
Beautiful. That's what you always
Every
would say.
birthday,
You say cancer free.
I say every birthday, I'm like, I'm 43, I'm cancer free. I'm 44, I'm cancer free. And I've never had cancer. But a long time ago, I go, why is it only people are only like shouting that from the rooftops when, God willing, they've recovered?
Yeah,
Why not be grateful for every day that you don't have it?
I agree.
And so I am. But all my friends will wish that to me all the time. And so
Yeah.
when it came in, Peter did say, you got your letter, you're cancer free. And I do feel very, very lucky about that. So,
Good for you.
So I'm,
That's always been my favorite thing. I remember that. 43 and cancer free.
yes.
You have to always be a 3. So
To make it
rhymes.
sound
Yeah.
funny. But the reason I got that going is the reason I first thought about it is because I saw an Oprah and Olivia Newton-John was on it and she was turning 50. And Oprah said, oh, this is crazy. Sandy from Greece is turning 50. How does that make you feel? And she's like, amazing, because I had cancer and I almost died, so I never thought I'd see 50. And ever since then, I'm like, I will never
Snap,
be
Oprah.
bummed about, oh, don't mention my age. Oh, I'm getting older.
Yeah. No. I've
Like,
never felt better.
Be
And
grateful.
I went to this like networking event for ladies, but I'm like one of the older ones there. And I was talking to a young woman who didn't know my age, and she said, you know, when I'm 40, I'm just gonna do that thing that all 40-year-olds do and like not use technology anymore. I was like, what? I go, I totally use technology every day. She goes, how old are you? I go, 44. She goes, oh, I'm so sorry. And I go, sorry? And she goes, I'm sorry if I offended you. I go, you didn't, but you think people in their 40s don't use technology? She's like, I don't know. I don't really know anyone in their 40s. I'm like, how do you not? Like, why are we so separated? And she goes, how does it feel? I go, it feels like your 20s, except you've been here a long time. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry, though. If it's like, is it hard? I go, no, I've been all the ages. I wasn't born 44. Like, I've gotten to experience it all, and I really like it, except for, like, little things when I'm like, oh, my skin seems looser. You know, that is, like, hard to deal with, but I'm just happy to be alive.
I'm so grateful I was born when I was born. Jesus just like knew. He was like, this soul is going to rock these years. I wouldn't have wanted to
I'm
be
so
born.
glad I was born when I was born.
I don't want to be born any earlier.
No.
You know, when there was less technology. I don't want to be born now. I just am happy with the way it is. But I do find offense because my mother-in-law is 80 and she uses everything that is offered to a 20-year-old. And I think that is being prejudiced.
Now we're not here yet. We're not here with my rock and a pale skin. We're not here yet with where we've come so far with like trans and racism and whatever. It will be considered like really, really offensive in about 5 years to say you don't look your age as a compliment. That's like saying.
That's your other prediction.
That's my other prediction is that is going to be as offensive as saying like. I mean, back in the 80s, you would be like, at least you're not a dark-skinned black person. I know that sounds horrible to say, but that was like racism sounded like.
Yes.
And people be like, what? Like, why is that better or worse? And so now I think when people go, oh, you don't look in your 40s, I go, why I wasn't trying not to. I mean, I don't look good. I just don't care if I look young. So I think that's
that'll go along with when someone also says, oh my God, have you lost weight? Is that going to also be a negative thing now? Because it's like, no matter what size you are, you should be happy.
I think that will take even longer. I don't know about that one, but I do know age. Like we're gonna get more sensitive about age and stop thinking it's a bad thing.
Oh my God, you've never looked bigger or older.
That's gonna be the correct thing to say in 5 years. I've never looked bigger or older.
Oh my gosh, Jen,
sorry.
I love that you have predictions. But you just said that Angelina Jolie is turning 44.
Today is her birthday as of this taping, and she's my age, and I don't know how I feel. Like. The other day I was Googling Madonna at 45.
Yes.
Just to see where I'm at.
Okay.
Because I'm turning 45 in a couple months. And so I'm like, I just want to make sure I just look as good as they do or did or what. I mean, I know I'm not a model like Angelina Jolie.
Right.
But I just want to go. But it was like she's done a lot with her life. She's lived a lot more than 44 years in my opinion.
I don't like her look right now. She wore that. Remember when she had her ass hanging out recently?
Yeah.
Something. I was like, you're 65. Like,
you're 65.
You don't have to dress like Stevie Nicks in 25 layers of velvet clothes.
Yeah.
Okay? But you also don't have to be showing off your ass and
Well, she had implants, too, in her butt.
Is that why she was
bummed
showing
me
it
out.
off?
I think so.
Ew.
And I don't know why she had implants, if she wants her butt bigger, because I certainly find it annoying to have, like, a bigger butt. But maybe it was drooping. Like, maybe there's a thing I don't know that happens in your 60s.
But I also feel like you have a good body. Like, you also don't need to wear, like, a bodysuit, Mariah Carey, or even J-Lo at this point. I mean, J-Lo has a really good body. But I'm saying you could also just wear, like, you know, the motocross Spanx that I love. Like, you could just wear those and, like, a pair of shoes.
Totally.
And show off your perfect skinny body. But, like, we don't need to see, like, every bit of it. No, I don't know. But you know, those industrial strength nylons that you wear, like, under your fishnets are pretty amazing. So you could most people that are fit could go, like, another. Remember when Cher had that tattoo and she had her ass out? Remember when she was... if I could turn metal.
Oh yeah, that was
cool. And then
cool,
she was on the video and she was like humping the missile.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Remember how crazy it was that she was like 42 and dating a 21-year-old guy that sold bagels?
I mean, I still think that's crazy, but it was like the first of that kind.
I thought, you know what? I take it back. I thought Debbie Moore was kind of the.
No, it was Sharon Bagel Boy.
Yeah, she was the originator. Cher was.
Yeah.
Good for her. Good for her.
Speaking
of which, did you see the article where they did a study and they found that the happiest subgroup of people
Yes.
are unmarried, childless women?
Yeah.
And
That's
what
me.
is your opinion of that, being that you're an unmarried, childless woman?
Well, I wasn't happy in my marriage, so obviously, like, I'm happier now. But that's not because I was married. It's because I was married to the wrong person.
right.
Child, I don't think I could have handled having a child, so I'm happier.
Yes.
But, like, if what you want is a marriage and child, or one or the other, then I think it's, like, to me, it's, like, it's breaking the stigma that we couldn't possibly be happy. And now I'm
Right.
so set in my ways. Like, I've been single, not just unmarried, but single for a long time. And I literally don't care. Like, I'm trying not to say something publicly because I don't think he's going to listen. But
Oh.
I there's been, like, dates I've been going on. But I'm not, to be honest, like, I just like being with myself for right now. Like, I want a life partner, maybe as I get older.
Yes.
But this notion of just have fun, like, I don't want to. Like, fun for me has changed. And
You
it's
mean
not
just
about
having
dating.
fun, like screwing without
Like,
ties?
or no, like dating. Like,
Oh.
you might be with just one guy and sleeping with him and dating.
Yes.
But it's like, if you know, like, in your heart, this can't go much further. Oh, but then people go, just have fun. Like, don't, like, in other words, it's always like, well, if you have someone you're dating and it's fun, but you know they're not the one and you want to meet someone more serious
Yes.
later, just stay with them because it's fun. Like, as though you couldn't have fun on your own until you meet the right person. And so it's like, it's just interesting how people rush to assume that you're happier
right.
with a person. And it's like, I went on a date with someone like twice and I told someone about it. And I was like, oh, you know, I don't know what's going on. You know, my job stuff, I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to get some things going. And they were like, but at least you have that. I'm like, someone I've known 2 dates? Like, that's not factoring into my happiness. But people are so sick in this society. So I feel like it's like, I don't think I'm happier than someone with marriage and kids, but I'm definitely not as unhappy as people think. Like, it
Well,
doesn't dawn on me, too.
Right.
I'm
This is,
so happy.
this is what was really interesting about, this is my favorite part of the
Yeah.
study, is they said when they asked women who were married and their husband was in the room, they said that they were happy. And then when he wasn't, like
Yeah.
half of them were like, no, I'm really not. But like they didn't want to say it in front of
Yeah.
the husband. And first of all, I think it's wonderful that we have grown and not everybody thinks that's like how sad you're an old maid and
Yeah.
you know, and that we've like anyone can have their life the way they want it. But I think my opinion of it is I think women that are single and childless kind of past the age that it's a possibility, I
Yeah.
think they're the happiest.
Yes.
Because people stop asking them.
Yes.
Because they also know, like, this is the path I'm on. Like,
Yeah.
when I think you're in the 20s, 30s, and early 40s, when it's still a possibility, and maybe you're even unsure if that's something you want.
Yeah.
I think then there's, you know, maybe some struggle. And
Yeah.
then, like, there's just, like, this freedom of,
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's so interesting because as we get older, even my friends who are married and those who are divorced and those who have never been married, which I absolutely like of my best friends, it's like a third.
Yeah.
It's like half, you know, a third are on their first husbands, a third are on the divorced or on their second, and a third of my friends have never been married.
Interesting.
And so I'm like, that is actually like the perfect demographic of society, really,
Yeah.
what it should be, you know? And I think that more and more people are like, let's not do the husbands. Let's just do the girl dinner for the birthday. Let's just do the
It's
girl.
happening, yes.
It's happening more and more. And I said, you know when everybody thought Oprah and Gail were lesbians because they're going on trips together?
No.
They weren't. They were just over 50.
Well, you know what's
They were
true
just
too?
like, fuck it.
I think that, like, women bond more with each other than men, and it's like you get man, woman, you get tired of your partner after a while.
Yes.
There's so many, like, even in this notion of having fun, like going on dates with someone and stuff is still compromising. Like,
Yes.
let's have plans Friday. Oh my God, now I'm tired. Friday's happened. I wrote a script all
Yes.
day. I don't want you to come over. I don't want sleepovers. I don't even know. You know, it's still a compromise. There's this whole notion that anything is fun after a certain age, when like you have your routine and you're happy, is not true. So it's either like, am I in love? Then if I'm not, I'm actually having more fun with my girlfriends or with my guy friends that are gay
Yes.
or taken. And I love my life and I feel like overwhelmed. Like I don't have enough time to do all the things I'm loving. I'm just curious. I'm never bored. Anyway,
Yes.
but my point is that with what you were saying about that is women and friends. Wait, I had a whole point.
Like after the age.
Oh,
of-
after the certain age.
Yes.
So, I lost my point completely, but because I'm a certain age now. But I feel that way. Like nobody's pressuring me anymore to have kids. Oh, this is what it is. so I probably got married maybe like 10 years ago. My friends were getting married at the same time. Now I'm seeing
The
them.
divorces.
Well, they're not divorced, but they're tired of the marriage.
Yes.
And where before they were like, oh my God, I'm so sorry you're getting divorced. I hope you find someone right away. Marriage is the best. And why don't you have kids? Now they're like, oh my God, what do you do for, like, tell me how to live. What do you do for fun? What can we do? They're desperate to hang out and get out of the house. They're
Yes.
just in that slump where there's still life in them. They might not want to have sex with other people, but they're bored. So
Yeah.
it's great
well, that's
for
why,
me.
That's why people say that it's work.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's why you do deserve a medal if you make it all the way.
Yes.
And God will reward me because it is hard.
Yeah.
Because it is hard and, you know, and you gotta give things time and there's times where, you know, oh, thank God you've talked to couples, oh, thank God we stuck it through. Like, those
Yeah.
were really rough years. Like, I just remember one time this couple was, like, hot and sexy in there, like, pushing 50, and I was, like, in my late 30s, and they were, like, on 22 years of marriage, and I was, like, oh, my God, like, just tell me the secret.
Yeah.
Like, tell me. And she's like, no, what do you... Like, I moved out for 6 months. Like, there was this that happened. There was, you know, like...
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's really kind of great to hear, because sometimes you see and you think, no, it's like they had to go to kind of a bad place to, like, get to this other great place or whatever.
Yeah, it's not going to be hot sex from the honeymoon to the
Yeah.
22 years later.
Yeah.
I mean, my parents are 81 and they just celebrated, I think, their 50th wedding anniversary or maybe 60th. Their 60th.
Yes.
And I mean, it's all
That's
ups
amazing.
and downs.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I mean, they really wouldn't know what else to do with each other. Like, they're not self-sufficient on their own.
But I wonder if I said this, and it's never, like, really stuck, and maybe I'm wrong, and you would probably know if this is an incorrect statement. But I'm like, isn't marriage, like, the ultimate form of codependency? Like, isn't it kind of just, like...
I think
isn't
so.
that what it
Yes.
really is?
You're kind of
Like,
signing up for, like...
because you're thinking about someone else's happiness all the time, and it's like, you know, it's the compromising, and
Yeah.
it's, you know...
So true. As long as it's not torturing you. But I do think it is, like, you make a decision and you're like, we're going to think about each other's happiness.
Yeah.
And you really can't get an escape from it if, you know, their problems
Yeah.
are your problems and all that kind of thing.
But people will ask me, like, you know, because I have a great, you know, wide range of age of women that listen to the show, which is awesome. And I've had people, like, either write me or walk up to me and be like, we don't know if we want to have kids yet. My husband doesn't care. I don't know if I want to. Like, you know, what do you think? And I kind of like, look, if you're 100% sure that you never want them, that is a gift. Like, embrace it, because you're never going to face the biggest heartbreak on this earth is someone is losing a child.
Yeah.
There's nothing more.
Mm-hmm.
So if you never have a child, that's one thing in life that will not happen to you that
That's
could
so
be
true.
the most devastating, worst thing that could ever happen to you. So, like, no, by not going to, you're never going to be in children's hospital.
Yeah.
You're never going to wonder where your kid is at 16. You're not, like, you are. So in another study I remember from years ago, they said, who will look the best at 50? The woman that never had kids, the woman that ran a marathon every day or whatever, the one that's married, happy, and has 5 kids. And it was the one that didn't have any kids.
Right.
Because her sleep was never interrupted.
Yeah.
She didn't have this kind of stress and worry that's just ingrained inside your body as a parent.
Yeah.
That just...
Constant cortisol and stress.
Just, yes, constant won't show, you know.
Yeah.
So my advice was like, you know.
You want to look good? Don't have a kid.
But if you have one,
yeah.
you will never, you know, providing you're not a psychopathic, abusive person.
Yeah.
You will never regret having that child.
Absolutely.
So, like, if you're, you know, on the fence, I've said to people, I'm like, why don't you guys just have sex,
Yeah.
get off birth control, and then that way, if it happened, it was meant to be, but you didn't spend $100,000, like.
Yeah.
And then I had this one.
Because you're never going to be ready, and if you're
Yes.
financially ready, but you're not sure if you're emotionally ready, just take the leap.
Just take the leap.
But
But
if
if it
you're
happens,
not-
it happens, and if it doesn't, then you're like, okay, then that's fine too.
But I hate
And
the
what
attitude.
a great position to be in, because there's so many people that are so desperate and do have to go through all those measures. So be grateful that
Yeah.
you are a little indifferent, you know?
There's some people I know, they're like, we don't really have the money, but I'm getting older. And I'm like, ugh, those people, I'm never like, just do it. Because
Yeah.
money is so important. It's like, you can't raise a kid with hope or with,
And
you know,
that's right,
you
that's
can't
gonna
raise
be
them on like,
another-
I just love them so much. It's like, maybe it's not, unfortunately, meant for you if you can't
Yeah.
financially do it, or freeze your eggs or adopt later, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I
But-
just remember being like 27, no boyfriend, I think I might have still been a virgin. Maybe I'd had sex. I don't know.
You
But
did
I
like
would
27.
go to bed like after doing like stand-up set, and then like be watching like some shitty TV like Jerry Springer, and I was like, you know what? Even if this is just me alone for the rest of my life, like I will be a mom. Like I knew like that
Yes,
was
I know a lot of
something
women like
in
that.
my head. And so for those people, like don't let that pass you. If that was really what you always saw, if it was like,
Yeah.
you know, like I play with these Barbies now, but I didn't play with the Barbies when I
Your
was
Barbie
young.
thing is my favorite thing on
But
television.
I never played with the Barbies. I played with dolls. Like I wanted to be a mom. Like I was the youngest. I was obsessed if a friend had like a baby in a crib, like a younger sibling. I was
Yeah.
like, let's play with the like I loved that. So it's like I think that's really and then this one girl wrote me and she goes, I never thought I wanted kids. But I love the way the way you talk about your relationship with your like older kids now. And she's like, now we're gonna try. And I was like, wow, that's really sweet, you know.
Oh, I know. I love it too.
You know,
love
so I just
seeing
think
it, yeah.
I just think it's like a great time.
And you know,
to
can
be
I
a
tell you
woman.
one thing? And this,
Yeah.
it's not revealing too much personal about your life, but the child-free people can be helpful in your friendships because
Yes.
your daughter is probably a little bit more what I was like in high school than what you were like.
Yeah.
And you were like, I read some things in her diary, and you know,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh no, she's not really depressed. She's just going through. She thinks she's smarter than everyone, and she's just kind of a punk rocker. And you're like, oh okay, and that was it. Like I was like, let the child-free person help you.
Wait, Kelly, who's that girl that's like a new hit singer? And she's like, I walk around, la la la, like it's
Billie
like
Eilish?
Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like this new girl that everyone's like obsessed with.
Okay.
And Brandon is in the car and he goes, oh, I hate Billie Eilish. She's just some emo chick pretending to be depressed. And everybody's acting like they're depressed too. And I'm like, oh my God, that's hilarious.
That's really funny.
Did you hear that Taylor Swift was asked, like someone on the red carpet? All I can think about is the poor girl's just trying to come up with something, so let's not crucify the girl who asked. But she said,
Yeah.
Taylor, you're turning 30. Like, do you see kids in your future? And she was like, you would never ask a man that, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
And
girl.
I do think that's an important step to take. Like, you wouldn't ask a man that. Just the same with, like, you don't ask a new dad, like, so what's it like to be working and be a dad?
Oh yeah.
No one would ever ask that, but in respect to the poor dumb girl that asked it, like, okay, all right, what else are you gonna fucking ask Taylor Swift?
Well, I also think
She's
it's like
turning 30,
we
but
do
yeah.
have the equipment inside of us. So
Yes.
technically we have more of a biological urge than
Right.
the guy. So it's not crazy to ask that gender that
Exactly.
question. But you want to be careful asking Taylor Swift because she is, I call an intermittent feminist. Like you
Yes.
never know when her feminism is going to strike. Like
Yes.
you know what I mean? Like sometimes she might not seem like one, and then sometimes it's like, excuse me, and I think is she single right now? I'm gonna say something really terrible.
I don't know.
I feel like she would have been more receptive to that question if she were seeing someone.
Okay.
And like maybe she's a little angry, like, yeah, maybe I want them, but I don't have a boyfriend, so I'm gonna turn it into some feminist thing and say,
How dare you? Would you
how
ask
dare
a man
you?
that?
But inside she's like, well, I thought I would by now, and
Remember
everyone
how
dumps
women
me.
used to get mad, like they'd be on the red carpet at the Oscars and they'd be like, don't ask me who I'm wearing. Would you ask a man that? So then they had to ask all the men and it was like, Armani. Yeah, it's a black suit. What the fuck?
Yeah, also like it's, God, yeah, it's like
you can ask me
you're
who I'm
wearing a
wearing.
piece of art that the point of it is to advertise the artist that made it. You stupid bitch. I'm so horrible because I would be the one yelling like, why don't you ask a man that question? But also, whether or not you ask a man that question, it's just such a boring question. It's like, wait, what? Like I'm on the red carpet. Ask me anything. Like,
Well, here's a question like,
Yeah.
to a woman
what's your favorite lipstick?
that has a son. Like, what if, if a daughter was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I just want to be a mommy. Today you might be like, okay, but you might want to like have something else going on, but still it wouldn't be horrifying. What if there was like a 7-year-old boy that was just like, all I want to do is be a stay-at-home dad, but he's not saying he's gay or
Right,
anything.
right.
He's just saying like, I hope to find like a rich woman who can support me
Yeah.
with a lifestyle that I would like. And I'm just going to be the dad from beginning to end.
Prediction, that's going to happen more and
Okay,
more.
but would that, no matter how liberal of parents you are,
Yeah.
will that upset you more that your boy says that than your daughter says that?
I bet it might.
yeah.
I
I think
think
you'd be
so.
a liar if you said it didn't.
Yeah. I would just hope that neither of my kids said that because now they're decreasing their odds of,
Everyone should have something else going on.
yeah, just they're decreasing their odds of being able to live.
This is my advice to anybody. Whether the man stays home or the woman stays home and you can afford to stay home, absolutely cherish it, be grateful for it, but have something else going on besides just caring for that kid and paying
Even
the
if
bills.
you don't get paid for it.
Yes,
you mean?
even if
Okay.
you're like teaching basketball at the Y.
Yeah.
Or you're, a mom who, is in a charity. Just have something else that's like yours.
Yeah.
That's gonna validate you in other ways than the kid. Like I remember the reason my mom got her real estate license. She had like a classic cocktail story where she said she made gingerbread cookies. She had all 5 kids at home.
Yeah.
And my dad came home, he was in advertising, and the house is a mess. And he goes, well, what did you do all day? And she said, well, we made gingerbread cookies. And he goes, oh, well, can I have one? And she said, no, they're all gone. And so she goes, I had nothing, not even one gingerbread cookie to show for my day.
That's
and she's
hilarious.
like, fuck this. And then the minute she got a real estate license and I just remember the first time she came home and she's like, I sold a house, and she did this little dance and she was dressed up. And I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like mom's like the happiest shit ever been. But I mean, also women that don't have to worry about selling houses or selling insurance have it made too. Believe me.
Totally.
A lot of working women are so fucking pissed at the Pilates mom.
I am so stressed right now with stuff that when you're like, and my mom stayed home and made gingerbread houses, I'm like, I think I want to do that.
It was gingerbread men.
Gingerbread men, sorry.
Yeah.
But why was it gingerbread men? Why did they make a gingerbread woman?
Exactly.
Why did they make a childless, unmarried gingerbread woman? But
They should make a gingerbread. They should make a gingerbread cookie that's like the unisex version for you. Anyone can go into that bathroom.
Yeah.
So it's like a half skirt, half leg.
Just like that guy at the Met Ball.
Oh yeah.
That was so good. I forget his name or what he does, but he was half man, half woman. And it looked really good. And it reminded me of this 80s lip sync contest show putting on the hits where this guy dressed like Diana Ross and Lionel Richie and sang Endless Love.
Yes. I just posted an article about how millennials are very upset at white chicks.
The movie or just white?
The white chicks watching it now, they're like, it's
Would
so
they just
offensive.
stop going back in time and then digging up stuff? Like, just move on. Like, as much as I want them to know about things that came before them, every time they do, they go so nuts. It's like, it's fine.
Well, the majority of people that wrote, and they were all young.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I got 3 comments that were like, it is offensive. And I'm like, okay, but who is it offensive to? Because they made fun of privileged white rich women. They were making fun of basically the Hilton sisters, okay, from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And that they were like, who are these society girls? Like before Instagram, they were like on page 6 all the time. That's how the story came about. And I'm like, so if you're a white woman, are you offended because they're making fun of richer white women than you? Like, where was the offense?
Yeah.
And I go, and the thing about it is, when I was writing that movie with them, they were like studying me. I was telling them all the different kinds of women there were. The scenes I wrote were things my friends and I actually said when trying on clothes and not feeling good about our bodies.
Yeah.
Like direct quotes. My character was based on a girl that worked on Beverly Boulevard at this one store. And that actually Keenan's sister like shopped at too. And we were both like, oh my God, that chick's so annoying. And then I wrote the scene. And the guys came out with us and like studied my friends and I, the way we danced, everything.
Yeah.
Studied it as, a character study, not this like.
It's not about the white face, and it's like and it's because blackface is still a thing, unfortunately, and that is offensive. It was like turning it on its head, like, look how funny this is. They weren't. To me, it was so innocent, and it was so what comedy kind of is, like silly, and people swap genders in comedy. I mean, it's like the Gap Girls sketch on SNL, where it was like all boys,
right? And
like something about it wouldn't have been funny if it was actually women. Like, I'm sorry, it's just one of the staples of comedy is like men dressing as women sometimes.
And the thing is that like, when you make fun of like, when you see a comic make fun of his Latino mom, and everybody's like, that's so true. That's because a lot of Latino moms maybe say that or do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, but then if you're going to cut out stereotypes, that is what comedy is. That is showing something in a way where someone goes, yes, that is so true.
And it brings people together in a way. I mean, if you think of how many white people go see black comics to laugh, and they can laugh at themselves when black comics are like, white people talk like this or whatever.
Yeah.
How Dave Chappelle's audience is all white people. I mean, it's like, I'm assuming through comedy some people have changed their minds about things. I'm not saying like white chicks is like changing minds about, but it's just like it's a fucking movie.
I just think it's sometimes the way, if someone's brought up that way, then they are looking for it, and they're hoping that, like, they're so conscious of it that they're like, oh my God, by laughing at this or enjoying this, am I somehow being a horrible person? And
Right.
that's why they're saying, like, I'm offended.
But they don't have to be so like perfect all the time. Like you can have nuance and be like, I'm not,
Right.
You're not hurting anybody. Why is there like someone
So,
drilling?
I feel like there's a motorcycle starting. Let's get into some
Yes.
juicy
Oh yes, sorry. Oh my God.
crime, okay?
Yeah.
Oh wait, who's this? Oh wait.
Oh, that's Olivia Jade.
This is a good crime. This is Olivia Jade, and she's shopping at IKEA. Now, Olivia Jade is the daughter of Lori Loughlin, and Lori Loughlin did. She said, "I'm not guilty." So we were talking about, like, when is that court date? I guess it's going to take a little more time because a proper defense attorney would be like, "We need to have more time. We need
Yeah.
as much time as possible." Like, just like if you're going to defend a murder, you're like, "I need a year."
Yeah.
And one of the rumors is that they are supposed to not talk to each other. They, like, her attorney saying, don't talk to your mom
Oh, okay.
because you might be brought into this as either a witness or possibly as someone that did something fraudulent as well.
So it's like save your own butt and like don't
Yes.
be accused of co-conspiring. Yeah, because I heard
So
she
she-
moved out of her mom's house
Yes.
and then went straight to IKEA, but she's not talking to her mom anymore. But that makes sense that it's a legal thing, and she wasn't like, I hate you, Mom. How did you do this to me? Although I kind of wish it was that too, because it's more exciting.
I think it is that, because I think the reason I think this was so horrible is because I had this joke in my act, like, you know, my husband and I are just going to stay married, and we're going to send the kids off to we send the kids off to a college near a winery that we'd like to visit. Like,
Amazing.
and I've always joked about, like, I want the kids to go to a place that I'd like to visit, you know?
Yeah.
If I have to get on a plane, I hope it's, you know. And so when Mackenzie was looking at schools, we went to Sonoma State. And Peter, it was exactly that. We loved it.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, Sonoma State, it's probably going to get a bunch of applicants. It's a state school, but it's like a little hidden gem. It looks private. It's gorgeous. The lobby looks like the Four Seasons. There's like fire. There's a Pilates class. There's a massage. It was so pretty.
Oh my
It
God.
was so pretty. Okay, so Peter and I are like ready to sign up. We both
Yeah.
are like looking at majors. We're just ready to like move to Sonoma and like join McKinsey.
Totally.
And she just was like, I don't want to go there. I want to go to Long Beach because she wanted to study film. And Peter was just like, Long Beach, you know, like we walked
You
walked
don't go to
around.
Long Beach.
Yeah, he was just kind of like, you
The
know,
traffic.
over Sonoma. Like,
Yeah.
she's a foodie, and there's like, you know, all the fun little farm places and all the wine. It's just so, I can't believe. I go, yeah, but they don't have what she wants to study. And, you know, for me, my parents wanted me to go to U of A because the crime was so bad at USC, and the movie Colors had just come out, and
Oh,
Boys
wow.
in the Hood. But I liked all that, and I was like, I want to go where Less Than Zero was referred to. I want to be with rich kids that do cocaine, even though I've never done cocaine. I
Right.
wanted to be
You
in a
want to be
place
the
that-
seedier
and I
rich
wanted to be in a
kids.
big school, blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, so she went there. But this girl and her sister had said, we want to go to ASU, and I've said they wanted to go to ASU because I think those were the grades they had.
Yeah.
So when you know, like, you're a 3.0 or 3.2, you know Stanford and SC are not on your list.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, I can get into these, and of these, I'm most excited to go to that one. The parents were like, no.
I know, and who's going to care in life really at the end of the
Because
day?
they want to go to the SC games where all the celebrity other parents are.
Oh, my
They have
God.
so much money. They were like, I want to be, you know, we'll get the box seats and we'll
Yeah.
get the this, that, and
about
everything you
them
can
and their
buy. You can
lifestyle.
buy parking. You can buy the great seats.
So it wasn't even a case of like, oh, honey, it's just a better school. We really want the best for you. It was about their lifestyle and their
that's what
celebrity.
I
think
think.
you're right. And also, these girls didn't even want to go to school at all, and they're
Right.
YouTube stars. Just
And
be
so
that.
they were like, look, we'll get you in. The girl didn't even fill out her app.
I don't think they wanted this.
The mom
Yeah.
had someone pay to fill out the app. I mean, she was so, and I was like, how were her other classmates at Marymount, which is just like my school, Louisville, but on the west side?
Yeah.
How were they all not like talking about each other? Like, maybe that's a version of this younger generation. It seems like they don't talk shit about each other nearly as much as we did.
Oh my God!
Because
What else do you do
we
with your
would have
time?
absolutely known, like, she has a 3.0. How the fuck did she get into SC? We would have all known that. We
Totally.
knew it back 20 years ago when I was in school. But I think they just kept their mouths shut. But when I talked to my friend's daughter, who was very bright, is very
Yeah.
bright, she went to SMU, she just graduated, and I asked her about it because she comes from means and private school. I go, what did you think about that? Those kids are not surprised.
Interesting.
They're like, oh, I think it's been happening for years. I think it's been. I'm like, but this is more than donating a building. This is sending someone
like
to
bribery.
sending someone to take the test for your kid, or correcting your test
Photoshopping
scores,
their face.
and photoshopping, and then also paying on top of that. But then I was like, okay, these people are so rich. If someone came to you and it's just such a nightmare, and you want your kid to go to a school an hour away, and you want her to still be able to do her entertainment stuff, and you want to go to visit her, and you've got friends at SC, and they're like, to me, Heather, for $500, he's in, Drake's in at SC. Like, just give us a check for $500. We'll take care of everything. You don't have to worry about getting the stamps. You don't have to worry about the essay. Now, I wouldn't do it because I know it's illegal. But if I was the defense attorney, my defense that I'd be pulling on for Lori Loughlin is like, she did not know it was a crime. It was presented to her like,
this is the system.
They have the space. They have the thing.
Yeah.
I never thought like I was taking a spot from someone else. I thought, I'm donating to something. I'm da-da-da. Like, I still think she's going to have to do time because she clearly knew she was doing something illegal.
And they photoshopped her head. And that's where it gets a little bit like, but you're lying at least. I mean, they
didn't even Photoshop the head. They said go on a rowing machine. And they took photos of her on a rowing machine and then put her in the boat.
Oh, I see. Okay. So they just photoshopped the boat.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So,
well, anyway, I mean.
So I think,
I'm
so
sad
that's
she
what's
has to
happen.
put together IKEA furniture. I thought maybe there'd be a step down from Mom's Malibu house to IKEA, like maybe go to West Elm or something.
I almost feel like a young girl doesn't know anything but IKEA. Like, oh, I guess I have to go to IKEA.
Yeah, you just
like she doesn't know that she could get completely made, probably better furniture at furniture stores all over LA.
Yeah.
Like walk into one and you get a whole set ready to
go.
Go
to Living Spaces.
Living Spaces. Okay. Anyway, so moving on. Moving on. What do I have here? Hold on. Wait. Hold on. Who cares about these things? Okay.
The crime.
I'm going to talk about this other crime that we have going on. Wait, where am I going? Wait, pause for once. Can you pause this for 1 second? I want to find the other photos. So, like, oh, okay. I'm going to talk about this crime for right now. Okay.
Is he dead?
This is Willis Jackson, and he was living here in Woodland Hills, and he just got arrested for, like, major serial dating crime, okay? He would reach out to girls on Facebook or Instagram, like in their DM, that did not live in California, that were like successful single women that he could tell had some bucks, and would like, if they were into God, he'd say, I'm in Christian. If they're into, business, he's an entrepreneur, all this stuff. And he'd say, come out to LA, which is Woodland Hills.
Yeah.
Come out to Woodland, and, fly out here, get a flight, I'll reimburse you, come out. So the girls come out, and first couple days and dates, he pays for everything. So you are like confident you're with like a good rich guy.
Yeah.
Then while they're sleeping, he would like go through their wallet, steal their credit cards, identity, and then that was one crime he did. Or he would say, oh my God, my car was just towed, my wallet was in it, I don't have any money. Like, there was a million scams going.
Wow.
And he was also a rapper. And that's what he said.
I'm sure that wasn't going that well if he had to do all this other stuff.
But yeah, I mean, like,
wow.
Look, like, oh my God, run after your destiny. This is what his thing is. Will Jackson, parentheses, too blessed, run after your destiny. Success isn't an accident.
I feel like
it's not an accident. He's tricking you.
I'm so afraid. I've never online dated. I'm terrified of it. To me, everyone I would meet, I'd be like, you're a serial killer or you're coming after my money.
My friend who, one of my like 3-part early on podcasts was the serial dater. I gave it the name serial dater. And it was because she met a guy through like acquaintances that lived in her town that was this divorced dad, paddleboarder, former lawyer, but now he was like into business. He was a total scam artist just like this. And she found out that he was dating all these other women in the town and he wasn't working at all. and based on how rich they were is how much he would ask to borrow. So the richest woman, he was asking for like 50 grand. The not so rich, he was asking for three. He would just say, oh, to just swing it for a week, a month. I have this thing. I have this bitch ex-wife. I have these 2 boys that need this. My son took my car and my wallet was in my car, and now I have a business meeting, and can you just give me $300? No matter what, from $300 to $20 that he would get from like a parent at a baseball game. Wow. And then by $40 to $60, no one's ever going to ask for that back. They're going to hope that you come, but they're like too embarrassed to ask. And then some of these girls would just be too embarrassed to pursue criminal charges or anything. So, and that was not a person from a dating app.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I guess I just don't trust anybody.
And what I had said when he borrowed the money with my friend is right when she finally admitted that she lent the money, now she's getting nervous. It was supposed to be for 5 days, one of these things. It's always for 4 or 5 days. It's a tax thing. And I go, but if he likes you a lot and he's trying to impress you, he's going to ask the girl he's been dating for 2 weeks for this loan. That means there's nobody else in his life that he can ask.
That's what I was just thinking. Like, he's broadcasting to you, I have no intimate relationships
I also
with
have
anyone.
no credit, because most people with even bad credit could get $2,000 off a card, okay?
And also, like, maybe wait 2 years into dating before loaning any money.
But that should be the red flag, girls.
Yes, of course.
No matter how great he is, that means that he has exhausted every other person in his life.
Yeah.
And clearly he doesn't like it that much, because this is embarrassing, and wouldn't he want to try to keep this from you?
And also, if you say no and he's not a scam artist,
yes,
he should respect you, and you should say, I'm sorry, but it's a personal thing. I don't lend money to men I'm dating. Period. End of story.
Right.
And if they say, well, F you, you bitch, then you know that they're a shitty person. And if they're like, oh, I really respect that. I mean, respect yourself. How do you want to present yourself?
Right.
Ugh, so sad. Well, where's he now? In jail?
Yes, he is. He is in jail. In the Woodland Hills jail. No, hold on. Let me see. Now, this is a very sad story that has been going around. This is on the East Coast. But this woman, she's a mother of 5, and she was having a horrible divorce in Connecticut. And so this Connecticut man, his wife has been missing for more than a week in the midst of a contentious 2-year custody and divorce battle. And he allegedly owes $1 million to her mom, to his mother-in-law.
Oof.
She went missing. Obviously, everybody thought it was him.
Of course.
And they, so in 2018, she filed a complaint claiming that her son-in-law, him, owed her and her late husband $1 million. And so he'd only paid $500,000 back of the $1.5 million. So that was happening. Then she was trying to get divorced. They'd been married since 2004. She filed in June 2017. It was just really contentious. And anyway, he now has been arrested with his girlfriend.
Oh.
Because they have video surveillance. Or no, they found clothes and sponges with Jennifer's blood, the mother's, was found in trash cans in Hartford, where documents said that surveillance cameras captured a man appearing to be her husband disposing of the garbage bags in multiple different garbage cans.
Oh my God.
And the woman in the passenger seat of that car, of the man's car, is the appearance of this guy's girlfriend. So they both have been arrested. She got out on $500,000 bond, the girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I'm sure her thing is going to be, she's going to turn on the boyfriend.
Yeah.
She's going to say, I didn't want to be part of this. I was scared for my own life. And then she's going to get immunity because she's going to turn on him.
She'll get a book deal.
But I mean, the thing is, when a mother going through divorce goes missing and the husband is the number one suspect, she is not hiding in a shed somewhere.
No, she's dead.
100%.
And it's those kind of guys, they just want you out of their life, and they're sociopathic. Now, I hate saying this because it makes me feel like a crazy person, but just like how you know how you would defend Lori if you were a defense lawyer. If I'm going to do that, murder, I'm going to just put the clothes and the sponges in a garbage can? I mean, I'm driving to Mexico and throwing it in the ocean. Like, are you out of your mind? You think they're not going to find it?
First of all, I would never put it in the ocean either.
No, it's always going to wash back up. But I mean, I would burn it in a dumpster.
Burn it.
Yeah.
burn it and then bury the ashes somewhere. Don't drive your car because they're gonna.
Yeah.
They might have already put a tracking device on your car unless
Right.
you've done it before, and then you're saying, where is she? But
Right.
like, I mean, has this guy never watched a Dateline, or are they so narcissistic that they just think they can get away with stuff? They're so like righteous and they're
Yeah.
so like they compartmentalize the crime. Like, I don't care. The kids will be better without.
Yeah, and they'll
her.
find this bag, but they won't connect it to that. And
Yeah.
But I would always be concerned about surveillance.
I was watching this thing about a guy, and he got convicted. It was a Dateline a couple weeks ago. Got convicted for killing his wife and his mother-in-law years later. And they were like, how could it be him? He's this paramedic firefighter. And then the prosecution was like, and no offense to paramedics and firefighters, okay? Because this is just one bad apple. But they said those are the kind of skills that makes him the criminal that was able to kill someone, show up at home and act normal.
Yes.
Because they've seen these awful things and they become immune to it and they compartmentalize and they probably compartmentalize. Yeah, the crime and said, you know, my ex-wife was an alcoholic, the daughter's better without me, this bitch mother-in-law, she's over 65, who cares, I'm not dealing with this bitch, like, you know, and I'm done, and I'm a great dad,
Yeah.
and I'm a great firefighter.
Can I
And
tell
so
you?
it doesn't matter that I killed 3 people.
This is unrelated
Because
but
he killed the
related.
neighbor too.
Oh my God.
Well, she just happened to be in the car with the mother-in-law.
This is unrelated but related. Last year I was living in New York for a job and I was staying in an Airbnb apartment. And I would always get confused what night was trash night. So you have to put the trash in the trash can outside and you cannot put it outside any other night or you get fined, you get in trouble, whatever. Across the street, they picked up the trash on a different night. So I missed trash night and I had a full trash can and I didn't want to keep it in the house because I was afraid it would attract bugs. So I took the trash out and I crossed the street and put it in someone else's trash can because the trash was being picked up that next morning. I got a knock on the door a half hour later that was like, we saw you put your trash in our can, take it back. And they handed it back to me. And I was like, oh my God, I felt like so that's why I'm saying,
I don't think
how
they
can these
thought.
murderers?
I don't think they thought you were a murderer.
No, but how can these murderers not think?
But I do think they thought, you know what? We may need more room.
Yeah.
Between now and the pickup.
And I hadn't separated the recycling. It was a big mess. And they're like, we don't want to get a fine for the way that you put your trash together.
Wow.
It would have been fine. And I'm like, see how easy it is to get caught? I couldn't even get away with that. So I don't know. It must be. And I felt psychotic doing it. I felt
when the
really
mom,
bad.
the poor mother-in-law, this girl's mom, since she went missing, she has the 5 kids and she has an armed guard.
Oh, yeah.
Because he hadn't been arrested yet.
Oh.
And the mom just knew.
I hate when, no offense to police, but when they're like, oh, well, just let that report go. It's like, I've been telling you about these threats. Like, they're like, yeah, but we don't consider it a threat until, what, they're dead? I mean, why don't they take it seriously? But why did he owe her family money?
He did, yeah, some loan, and she probably realized, like, at the time, maybe she encouraged it, and then she was like, oh my God, I'm married to, like, a total shady businessman.
Yeah.
And then all the other, you know, horrible traits came out. Then she finally had the strength to leave.
Oh.
And he's just like, you know, no. And of course, then he gets some other girl who's, by the way, not attractive at all. Not, like, attractive or young or anything. Here's another great story.
Yeah.
One of my favorite stories from the 90s. Now, the 90s was a wonderful time.
It was the greatest time ever.
For hard copy. We had O.J. Simpson, we had Monica Lewinsky. But my favorite was Heidi Fleiss. The first famous female pimp.
Yeah.
Of high-class hookers in Los Angeles. And she's like 4 or 5 years older than I am. But her clientele was my age. Like, I mean, not her clients. Her prostitutes were about my age. And I would see her out at the Monkey Bar, at all these different places.
It's so exciting, Heather.
Well, the way they wrote this article in the Hollywood Reporter, a little bit rude. They said that her once filled lips are now cracked and dry. She's living out in the desert with a bunch of birds. She has like a bird sanctuary.
And when I saw that part, I was like, oh God, cracked lips is a thing as you get older. Like, they dry out and get thinner.
But I wonder if that's something that people that are overly filling their lips have to worry about will they be more cracked because you had filled them for 10 years?
I don't know. And why is she not filling them? Is it a money thing or?
I think it's a money thing, and I think she doesn't care, and she's out. I mean, she's out in Nevada, but clearly there's plenty of like Juvederm in Nevada.
What's up with people and birds? Like Mike Tyson, when he got out of prison, he got really into birds too.
Well, one thing I learned about this article about birds is they live like as long as humans,
Oh, that's terrifying.
like the parrots and stuff. And she said that the birds squawk in non sequiturs, like they kind of have Tourette's. They've learned from abusive previous owners. So one constantly shrieks "fuck," another, no matter the circumstances, repeated "I love you."
Oh, that's
I
so
love
sad.
you. She sees herself as their nanny, and so but she is now saying she. This is what it said. Her cosmetically enhanced lips now deeply cracked. Oh, shut up, you asshole.
Yeah.
Anyway, but for those of you who don't know, she went to jail for basically a tax thing in the end. It wasn't prostitution. It was that she made all this money and she didn't pay her taxes. They got her on that. She did like 3.5 years. They wanted her little black book, and even though, it was known in her heyday when she serviced the likes of Charlie Sheen, she never spoke about her prominent clientele who paid $1,500 a night, base rate, and tipped, and she claimed up to $1 million. But Charlie Sheen was never arrested because she never
Never
turned these
sold
people
anyone out,
in.
yeah.
And she took 40% of the cut from the girls. Also, when Radar reported that high-profile men like Johnny Depp, George Lucas, Robert Evans,
George Lucas.
that they were
That's
all
hard.
part of her so-called little black book, which she never shared. And now she says, this part was confusing, and you read it too.
Yeah.
Now she says, I am going to say, who was in that book, because this guy said that he would give to my bird sanctuary, her former client, or whatever, former guy that paid for the hookers, and now he won't.
So she was gonna rat out one of her clients with his permission.
No, not with her.
Not with, and she was gonna use
because
that
she
money.
said I paid off his prostitution debts using her own funds, and he was to reimburse her and contribute exponentially to her bird sanctuary. Fly said that she had not helped the man procure these sex workers in the first place, but was merely there to be his cleanup woman. Now several years have passed, and the man had not made good on his promise. The offense has become her obsession. I feel denigrated, used, taken advantage by a very rich man. It sickens me. And she spilled on her. Okay, but she doesn't.
But she doesn't say who it is. Is it Harvey Weinstein? No.
No, but this is the part I didn't get, because I'm like, is she saying that it's? Because then she gets into this other juicy story that I showed on my podcast, which was about Brett Ratner, the Warner Brothers CEO, Kevin Tasahara, and this mistress who basically slept with Kevin Tasahara and this other guy, Carrie Packer, who was the billionaire that was engaged to Mariah Carey.
Oh, yes.
She was his girlfriend, and then she got passed over to Kevin Tasahara, who was of William Morris, all with the promise that she would get really good parts at auditions.
Oh, no.
And she aggressively wrote Brett Ratner and Kevin and Carrie Packer about, where's my part? Where's my audition? And then, she got a small audition and, but nothing. And she was really aggressive, wish I would have known that when I was fucking Kevin.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, we never had a deal. And and now she's saying, no, I've been nothing treated professionally, because now she's like, oh my God, I am going to be completely blackballed from this business.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not suing, but I'm also but clearly, and it's what I've always been saying, with all the girls that fucked, Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
If he's been doing this for 25 years, a lot of women agreed. And we've never heard from them. And now they're 55 and they're hanging out in their home in the Palisades, and maybe they're looking at an Amazon script. Okay?
Yeah.
But they were in a Miramax film 25 years ago, and they probably had to fuck or at least watch him shower. Mm-hmm. Come out and tell your story. Tell your story and go, yeah, I did it. Because this is what I mean. When this girl proves it, a ton of women do this willingly.
I think I'd be scared to come out because there's so much backlash about coming out. Oh, you didn't come out soon enough. And I'm like, do I really want to disrupt?
But wouldn't that be the true Me Too feminist that says, you know what? 25 years ago, I felt this part was mine. I knew I was an actress. I wasn't a daughter of a star. this opportunity presented itself.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can put my mind in the back of my head. I can sleep with this person.
Yeah.
I can get the audition. I can kill it. I can get the Oscar. And from there, I never had to sleep with anyone else again.
Yeah.
That's the way I had to do it. And I'm so glad it's out in the open. So now it can really be based on talent.
I mean, it would be really cool.
Like, that would be...
I would respect that.
That would be the coolest thing. But no,
yeah.
they're not, because they all sit around. Everyone was, Meryl Streep and everybody was saying, and to Harvey Weinstein. And then when it all comes out, everyone's like, he's disgusting and I'll never talk to him again.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to speak up when it's still a little unsure and he's powerful. The minute that person's down, everyone's like, here we go, women, and he's a pig. You're like, oh, shut up. You were like at his table. You were like,
That's like Courtney Love was the only one to say anything.
What did she say?
She said it on a red carpet thing like 10 years ago. And she was like, don't go to Harvey Weinstein's hotel room, I'll tell you that. And everyone's like,
she goes,
crazy bitch.
Like, do you have any tips for Hollywood? And she's like, don't go to Harvey Weinstein's hotel room ever.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah.
But I think it's like, okay, so with Heidi Fleiss, and first of all, I'm like, wasn't it 20 years she was away or something? I don't know.
No, it was 20 years ago that she was convicted.
20 years ago.
But she only did like 3 or 4 years.
Oh, got it. Because I didn't realize she's like, oh yeah, I'll go on Dr. Drew's celebrity rehab for $500,000. I'm like, that's how much it pays? That's amazing. But I didn't realize she still
back
like
then.
drug.
I don't think those shows pay.
Oh, okay.
I just watched Paradise Hotel. I don't think those people got $100.
Yeah, I'm like, it just makes me sad because it's like, I don't know. That she's gonna. Not that the guy's paying for sex or doing anything in quotes like wrong. I mean, it's all illegal, but like, it is. She is doing the worst. But
and
the
let's
tax
not
evasion.
forget, Heidi Fleiss grew up very privileged. Her dad was a doctor. She lived in Los Feliz, and her cousin is Mike Fleiss, the creator of The Bachelor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You
That's her
didn't know
cousin.
that?
No,
That's her first cousin.
He's prostituting people too, basically. Wait. George Lucas, you would think that'd be a bigger thing. Like Star Wars has never been bigger. Everyone loves it, and no one goes to hire a prostitute.
Because it's Radar Online, and it's or whatever. Allegedly, she never confirmed it. She could have.
You know whose name is not on that list? Guys that we know. You know what I mean? If you're even in that world where you could be on the list, even accidentally, you're still too close to it. I don't.
Well, anyway, Fleiss has long struggled with substance abuse. Recently, favoring a combination of snorted line of methamphetamines paired with Xanax. I'm a snobby drug addict. I don't smoke it, she explained of the meth. By her account, her fragile sobriety had been further compromised by grief over the October death of her former lover and longtime friend, Dennis Hoff.
Ugh,
they were a couple out there.
Guy?
Because remember, she was going to start a stud farm, a male prostitution place.
No, that would never work.
It would never work, because you know what? If I just, like, Peter was dead or whatever, and I wanted to just, like, have a real body to have sex with.
Yeah.
I would never want that. I would never want to go to a place. I would be like, I would rather save up all my money and have it be like an escort that pretends to be into me and is like somewhat age appropriate and like has a crisp shirt on, and then we go on a date and we make out and then we bone.
Yeah.
And then he leaves and then I just pretend that I like had a boyfriend.
Right. Exactly. But to go somewhere where it's like
dirty.
Like someone just left the room and it's like no.
And I'm sure, and are they gay? Like, they're not even into you? Like, who knows? Okay, so, wait, then she also attributes her behavior to do you know this drug? Not that
Suboxone, yes.
I knew you know how to pronounce it.
Yeah.
It's a prescription narcotic that she's been taking to fight opiate addiction.
Artie Lang used to be on it. Like, he was always talking about it on Howard Stern.
Well, how is he doing?
I don't know. I know nothing. But I just remember when he was on Howard, he'd take Suboxone.
He has no nose anymore.
I know, that was crazy. He was on Suboxone to keep the cravings for heroin away, but he would still do drugs on top of it. It makes you even more sick. So, that's not a solution.
So, I really don't like. It just kind of goes, that she's gonna. But then she's. Then she became friends. The way she got the birds is that her bedridden elderly next door neighbor, Marianne, herself a one-time prostitute and former madam, she got girls for Howard Hughes. Colonel Sanders was her sugar daddy.
From KFC Chicken?
But Colonel Sanders Is there a real Colonel Sanders? Or does she mean the actor that played Colonel Sanders? Like, was Colonel Sanders a real person?
I know. I thought it was a cartoon. I didn't even know.
No, it's chicken. It's fried
Right,
chicken.
yeah.
It's the character fried chicken. It's like Jack in a Box, okay?
Yeah.
But like,
I don't know
and
what she.
over
It's like
the
saying
years-
Ronald McDonald was a client.
Over
like,
the years, different actors have played Colonel Sanders, but I guess, is there a real Colonel Sanders that owns all the fried chicken places back in the day?
Maybe. It
And
seems
then,
crazy.
And then actors played him after?
I don't know.
Anyway, she had dozens of parrots in a single wide trailer, and Fleiss fell for one of them, a male named Dalton. I just connected, she said. It really bothered me that he'd been sitting in that cage for 15 to 20 years. There was actually dust on him. So when Marianne died, Fleiss took possession of Dalt and a few other birds and sought a place for the sanctuary. I found out there really weren't any that were truly out there when you think of a sanctuary. So she started the nonprofit and decided to build and operate a more enlightened safe haven of her own. I thought running 500 girls was hard. That's nothing. Apparently the birds are harder to keep track of.
Oh, it's so weird because they're yelling out abusive things like "fuck you," "I love you." It's like even your animal pets are fucked up.
Yes,
like everything in your
exactly.
life is a drama.
So now she's also, one of the things she also does is she rehabs like those Airstreamer, like
Oh,
that
like flip this house, but it's a trailer. The
yes,
Airstream.
that everybody, like all the hipsters love.
Yeah, it's like a big thing in Malibu, and Sean Penn has one or something.
She said, really the best thing is for the species to go extinct. A dog lives 13, 14, maybe 18 years. These birds have human lifespans, all cooped up.
Oh,
So
boy.
she's afraid if she dies, like no one's going to take care of the birds.
Just open the door; they'll fly out. They go live in L.A. It's fine.
The man Fleiss alleges betrayed her wasn't her only would-be parrot benefactor. There was the late Simpsons co-creator and noted animal rights activist Sam Simon, who by her account was impressed with her pitch in the days before he was diagnosed with terminal cancer. I couldn't follow up with him after. It didn't seem right. Then there was the high-flying relativity media founder Ryan Kavanaugh, who'd owned an African gray parrot before his own financial flameout. He was going to help me, but then he went bankrupt. Remember when relativity that there's a product that whole media place went under in 2015. Anyway, how do I have such bad luck when I'm trying to do such good things for the birds? So then she approached the Hollywood Reporter October with vengeance. And she said the man's attorney had actually paid her back in full, approximately $220. Yet Fleiss wasn't satisfied. She wanted the donation for the bird sanctuary. And her incessant demands for the money had angered him. At a mutual friend's LA apartment in August, he was threatening to hurt me. He says, "You live out there in the middle of nowhere. Accidents happen all the time." What if her birds ate her? Fleiss continued to press her case against the man until March. Then something happened. Following a week of silence, she forwarded a letter that appeared to be ghostwritten by her, an associate of the man. She neglected to remove the associate's email address and explained that she would no longer be going forward with the story. I was very mad at the person we discussed. I was furious, in fact, and the result... So we never do know who it is.
No, so I guess it sounds like he gave her a death threat, like, hey, accidents happen out there, like, you wouldn't want to accidentally slip and fall into the ocean.
So then she stopped?
So she stopped.
Oh.
But wouldn't this person even be mad that she's saying this much? She's going to get herself killed.
Anyway, so... I mean, she had that weird Nagi guy. This was one of the juiciest documentaries that came out. I remember I went to see it in the movie theater. So... who knows who it is? But you know, if it's some guy that's like 75 now that like had hookers back then, like who cares?
Yeah, I don't think anyone
like would anybody care at this point? Like I was saying like yeah, if it's like someone running for president who has a wife, like that's juicy that he has hookers. If it's the Pope, that's pretty juicy.
Yeah.
If it's Barack Obama, like shocking.
Yeah.
If it's some gross Hollywood producer that's on his third wife and had some hookers on the side, now he's 75, does anyone give a shit?
No, and she kind of missed the boat with the whole Me Too thing when everyone was like Harvey Weinstein and now Kevin Spacey and now this and now that. Like we're not surprised anymore. We're like, yeah.
So
I love this picture.
So here's a night out with we'll post this on my Instagram and stuff. Heidi Fleiss, and she's wearing like more of a man's outfit because she's the pimp. And these are her girls. And I'm like, listen, anybody please go to my Instagram at Heather McDonald. I'm going to post this photo from the Hollywood Reporter. Who are these girls? Where are they today?
I don't know.
Are they alive? Are they, a third wife of a 90-year-old? Are they loving life, dropping their kids off at the Brentwood School, going to Pilates, looking great because they married someone good and nobody knows that they were friends with Heidi Fleiss?
They're all in Nevada with like elderly husbands, I think.
I think there's a mixture. I think one is probably a drug addict and dead. I think one is like living a very posh West Side life.
Oh, wow.
You know, and
Yeah.
is wearing Lululemons and
Yeah.
is living a great life. And one is like an old hooker.
Probably.
Still probably doing it.
Yeah.
Still just figured out a webcam and is going to try to make it work.
This purse is so 90s when you go on the website, that sort of drawstring.
Yes.
It's so great. This is a great photo.
Look at the ankle tat.
I feel like the one
Look
that's
at the
just in
chunk
her
shoe.
underwear is maybe no longer with us.
Well, she has a dress, but she
her
lifted up
dress is
her
lifted up.
underwear. My point is, if anybody knows who any of these
Yeah.
women are, if you are one of them, please come on my show. I'm dying to know what happened to your life.
I am dying to know
Or if
too.
you know about these women, tell me.
Yeah, it's sort of like when you watch an old movie and you look at the showgirls in the background. You're like, whatever happened to them? It's the same
Yes.
thing. It's like, where did they go after they were done? I mean, unless they made enough money to just sort of retire by themselves in like a little
I mean,
condo.
these were the original hooker lights that I refer to now. Now
Yeah.
there's a lot of girls, and apparently their life is even getting better because now there are people that will have the hooker lights come just because they want good Instagram photos that there's hot chicks around, and there really is a market for girls now that can get purses and trips and they don't have to fuck.
That's genius. That's
I
what I
mean-
think Lindsay Lohan does.
Oh, for sure.
Like she's always on some like Saudi Arabian guy's jet, and
I think she may do some fucking on the side. too.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but definitely no. People pay for her company.
yeah,
However you want to say that. Whether that means she's hosting a dinner party, she shows up at the Nigerian prince's house.
yeah,
100%.
Totally.
Yes.
yeah. Ugh, yeah, I'd like to know.
Very, very curious about that. Okay, let's talk
Poor thing.
about what do you think is going on with. Do you think it's the old age-old question of 20 years? Is Jen
Wow.
Aniston and Brad Pitt ever romantically going to get back together? In your opinion?
In my opinion, I know this sounds crazy. Yes.
Okay,
Here's my opinion.
please give it.
I think that they're really comfortable with each other. I think he got the sort of I'm saving the world, that Angelina trip out of his system. I think he probably left thinking, oh, Jen's a little, simple and she likes to margaritas and smoke some pot and go to whatever. I think he turned his back on her in that way and thought he was going to this more exotic, like she's a UN ambassador or whatever. And then he realized, that's not all it's cracked up to be, and there's more drama than I've ever seen in my life. And I liked Jen, and we got each other, and they grew up together in Hollywood. I mean, I think there's a real thing there.
Do you think that there's people that go off to save the world and then they're like, no, fuck it. Like,
Yes.
I'm good. I did my duty.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't want to do Greenpeace anymore.
And I think
I
that
just want to be a movie star again. And I did
Yeah.
this for a really long time. It was really sad and really depressing.
Yeah.
And I'm really over it.
And I think he was attracted to Angelina's, like, philanthropy or whatever. And I think at the end of the day, she does go do that stuff. Like, great, we get great results from it, but she does it. She's an adrenaline junkie. It doesn't mean she's a better person than anyone else. And
Oh,
so,
interesting.
yeah. And so, anyway, long story short, I do think whether they get back together officially or not, they may both end up not with other people for the rest of their lives because they have this, it might not even be sexual, but this love bond, like a When Harry Met Sally if they never got together at the end. I truly think neither one of them will ever be able to have a serious partner again, and then they'll always be in each other's life, even if they don't get back together. And if they do, it'll be like 10 years from now. It's not going to be right now, but I do think they're secretly, I think they've slept together.
Really?
In the last couple of years, 100%. 100%. I don't know. I think there's some confusion between them, like, oh, the chemistry's not there, but God, I love you. There's something going on. I truly believe it.
Well, why don't you ask Jen?
Jen,
Let me think, because I don't even know what I'm going to say. I have to think about such a hard
so
question.
Jen, I know life is complicated and there's people we love. We may not be in love with them. I see something with you and Brad, and just tell me, is he the most important man in your life? Could you ever love someone else?
Well, I have. I absolutely was in love with Justin. I was in love with Vince Vaughn.
Oh, right, I forgot about Vince. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just,
Like where he doesn't know what a real good chair is, the political activist doesn't really know what they're saying.
Yeah.
So they're just going to do it in this very surface way, and they're going to get
Right.
bored with it because they're not good at it. These people have to be the best at it, or they get bored. So they don't want to try or learn more. They're like,
Right.
oh, I thought it was going to be easy. Oh, it's not. Oh, I'll just do this. Oh, and that.
Yeah.
So will they go back to the original? I don't know. But then are you even any good at the original anymore because you've turned your back on it and never really liked it in the first place?
Right.
Oh,
So possibly we'll see. It's interesting.
that was
I
a
like that I
great,
pretty
juicy
much
scoop.
just stay the person I am.
I feel that way about
I am.
myself
This
too.
is what I liked. This is what I wanted to do when I was young. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I have the same friends.
Me too.
I'm able to keep friends.
Yes.
I live in my same. I bought the house next door to my parents. My kids go to the same Catholic school. Like, I mean, I really like what I like.
I was reading some old like diaries
not that-
of mine, and I
Not
had
that
to
you
change.
can't switch your life.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it is also interesting when when you read an old diary and you read what.
And you go like, okay, I've changed for the better. I've grown. I've more interests. I'm more diverse. But it's not from a place of, fuck the past. I never
Yeah.
turned my back on anything in the past. I maybe learned stuff and said, oh, I'm not going to choose to do that anymore because it was
Yes.
harmful. But just shutting your back on everything, I don't know. It's not a good way to live. And I think it's important to see who people's friends are. If they're all just celebrities of the moment,
Right.
you know, what's wrong with you? Like, you know, and if you don't have any of your same friends, I think that's a big tell. I'm still friends with people I've known since I was a kid.
Yes, that's the way it should be.
Yeah, and then I'm actually really grateful I met friends as I got older because I'm closer with them because we're in the same lifestyle. But I never dropped anyone for new people. I just keep adding.
Yeah.
And then people come and go depending on how busy we are, but I just keep adding people.
I know. That's what's so great about life.
Yeah.
That you form a great friendship and you could go a year without talking to them or a couple or months without seeing them in person. But if the friendship is there and the respect for each other is there, it's okay that you're not seeing them every day. That's what life is.
Yeah.
You can still maintain that relationship.
Yeah.
And especially today with how easy technology is. You don't have to go sit down and write a letter.
Yeah.
And with a fountain pen.
Can I just say one thing too? There's also people who don't talk to their old friends.
Yes.
But it's not so much that they dropped the old friends. The old friends don't really want to be around this toxic person.
Right.
And there's this question that's always asked, like, do you see these people anymore? Do you see this person, that person? And it's like you say no, but you don't want to go on and on because you don't want to like slander that person.
Right.
And so people tend to think, oh, so sad, they left you in the dust. And it's like, no, actually, I have a full and complete life, and their toxicity
Right.
did not fit into it because I can't go to a cocaine party all night, like once a week. Like,
Right.
I can't. So I'm going to, you know, have my normal life. And since they don't do things like go to dinner one-on-one
Right.
like normal people, then I can't see them. Because the only time I could see them is at this all-night party. That's their lifestyle, and I
Exactly.
don't feel like doing that. So we just fell apart. Now, I'm not saying who this is, but I'm just saying
Right.
there's
Well, also-
friendships in this business
Right.
that don't mean you got dumped. It means you actually made your own decision.
The other thing that someone said, a daughter of, I think it was a Russian immigrant. She was one of my guests, but she said something that her dad said that I thought was very profound and can be used towards boyfriends, friends, whatever.
Uh-huh.
But basically, she said, sometimes when a certain kind of person, they don't want to see you anymore from their past because they know they treated you so horribly that to make up with you or to see you again, it reminds them of what a piece of shit they are. So they
Oh.
would rather just be like, I'm cutting you out.
Yeah,
You're awful. Leave. I'll never talk to you again.
yeah.
And because by seeing that person or possibly trying to make up, then they would have to acknowledge that they did a really horrible, shitty thing. And they'd rather just say, I cut them out. Moving on to the next
100%.
person. And I thought that was really kind of, I never thought of it like that, of like when, you know, you're really hurt by someone and you're like, well, God, you know, really, we can't make this work? And they're like, no, because I fucking treated you like shit.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see your face.
And
be
they don't have the
reminded you.
strength to look at themselves and go, oh, I did do horrible things. Let me like kind of make it up to you, living amends you. You know, they don't
Yeah.
want to, it's too intimate for them.
Right.
They're just like, bye. I'll start over with my new self.
Yes.
Do you watch that show Barry?
No, but I heard
Oh,
it.
it's kind of
Everyone
like-
says I would love it. so I
You
have
would
to
love
watch
it. It's kind of like Barry, and this is not a spoiler. He's a hitman.
Yes.
So, but every time he kills, he's like, okay, it's the last time, and then he like thinks he's gonna start his life over, and then he keeps getting sucked back, and so
Yes.
it's like these people are like that, like, okay, this is my new best friend. I can start over. They don't know anything about my past. And then that friendship doesn't work out because you're a lunatic at the end of the day. And
Yes.
then you do something to harm them, and then you have to keep cutting them out.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, it's like, why does this one person have no one left from their past? But people love reinvention.
Yes.
And because everyone wants a second chance.
And this is a great time to share your victim story. And if you were a victim or a survivor, you know, absolutely share it.
Yeah.
But this is the time, and that will get people to forgive you if you did something that hurt them, then you go, well, this is why.
Yeah.
Then people are like, well, that horrible thing didn't happen to me ever. So how could I judge anything you did because that was such a horrible thing that happened to you? So you can be a horrible person.
Yeah.
Because a horrible thing happened to you.
Right. And it's like, I don't play that.
Yeah, I don't either. Jen, this has been real fun.
What a delight.
Such a delight.
I mean, I was so offended by white chicks. I almost didn't come today, but I'm so glad I did.
We talked about lots of juicy things, so
Yeah.
thank you for coming on.
Anytime.
Do you have anything that you'd like to have people know about you?
I'd love them to just come see me on the road. I'm a delight.
Yes.
I just talk about my life, my family.
When's your next
It's-
shows? You said you're home for a little bit.
I'm
this
home for a little
summer.
while. I'm going to
But
be
you have fall shows?
August and September. They can come see me in Minneapolis or Nashville or Alabama or Texas or Boston or New York.
Oh, you're going to a lot of places.
I'm going to a lot of places. I'm going all over that South. People told me to boycott these cities because of the abortion ban. I'm like, I need a paycheck, and I want to make people happy. They're having a hard time. So everyone come all over the South, all over Texas. Just go to JenKirkman.com and right on my homepage. Get those tickets. We'll do post
it.
for pictures after.
And follow Jen, too, if you're not already. Though I know a lot of people love you and
I
will.
love them back. But yeah, they really need to come. A live comedy, I'm like, they can watch my Netflix, they can buy a book. I don't care about that. Come to the live. That's where I love.
And you know what I
doing.
love about you and I both is that I've both seen fans of ours write on things like, I want to go, but I don't have anyone to go with. This last show I was in Philly,
Yeah.
I had 3 different women that came alone. And
Yes.
they were like, I'm so glad I did. I couldn't, I didn't have someone that could go with me. Not like they didn't know a soul, just like it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And those people, it was great because they bought a VIP, so they sat in front, and they got to meet me after. They met people in line. And absolutely, you can go to a comedy show solo.
Yeah, especially when it's
Especially-
me and Heather,
yes.
and it's not a comedy club where you don't know anyone. Like,
And it's
our
such a fun
audiences
thing
are sweet.
to do. Like,
Yeah.
go do it.
Our audiences are sweet. We don't heckle the people in the audience.
Yes.
And nobody can tell that you're alone either. You might be going to when you get up to go to the bathroom, it looks like you're alone, but
Nobody's watching and checking
nobody's
and
looking at you.
pointing it out. So,
And
like,
I
don't
have-
ever be self-conscious about it.
I have fans who met up at my show and became friends and like came to another show like yours
Yes,
later.
so have I, which
yeah.
I love. Which
You
I
can
really
also
love.
meet someone. Like, imagine if a woman met a guy that's a Heather McDonald fan.
Well, I have.
Isn't that a
Listen,
dream?
straight guys should absolutely come to our shows.
Oh, my
because
God.
there's like the most gorgeous girls in the audience.
Yes.
And some of them are alone.
A lot. They're alone at the table and they're not going home with anyone. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that is like, come on, use your brain, dude.
Yeah, go out at night, people. Anyway, that's what I encourage.
And me too. Thank you, Jen.
Mm-hmm.
Love you.
Love you more.